Hello and welcome back to Prospecting Maine Bedrock Part 3. I'm here in the twilight hour and I've discovered a few things I want to share with you. I've decided to come back and get some of those smaller finds I was talking about in the last episode. The ones I wanted to pan for heavy. So I got my pan, I got my river, I got my Maine. Let's get started. So here I am on the Maine Blacksmiths Guild claim that we've been on for the last few episodes of Prospecting Maine Bedrock, and it's twilight here, and I wanted to show you some of the results I've been finding here. I'm uphill north of those workings from the quartz in the bedrock, and here I found more bedrock. But the interesting thing is this bedrock is on a different angle. The bedrock I'm chasing is this way. This bedrock, let me show you. This bedrock is running like this. It's running like that, which is running like that, where my quartz vein is running like this. So there's it must be an old fault here somewhere. Now, examining this bedrock closer, it looks silicified. You got these banding in it, like micro fissures, micro veining. And there's some cobble over here, just over here actually. It's got some micro veining in it. See, here and here. So I wonder if this hypothetical fault line where the bedrock changed direction from here to this way is where the quartz entered and kind of did its own craziness here. Over time, this whole bedrock has been turned this way over time, but it has nothing to do with this localized area that I'm describing. So somewhere here where this bedrock comes in at a new angle is my quartz vein, where its genesis, if you will, toward the south. So I don't know where that is. Let's get to some trenches are going to be in order, I believe. So when I get a little bit more manpower and more time later this summer, that's going to happen. So let's get down to the river and show you what I'm up to today. So I've been filling this bucket up with a small test pit here that I'll fill up at the end of the day so it's safe. Get this organic matter out of here. This is that from part 2 of Prospecting Bedrock. This is where we were taking that quartz out by hand. So just digging up this dirt so I can pan it to see what we can find in that soil. Something cool I just noticed is there's some pieces of quartz attached to host rock here. Some more quartz float. It seems to be a ledge here. It's directly in line with the test hole in the back here. And further back, that white spot is the original quartz in situ. So there's a lot going on here. I have to go through this float. All right, so this is our work spot for today, or should I say for tonight. We got our bucket of, got our water, very important. Got our bucket of hopefully pay dirt. Got a very small classifier, and let's get that pan. We got the pan. So organize this and get a better view for you folks. This episode of Maine Forges and Mines brought to you off deep woods. The only way I've been able to keep my sanity while filming this. So that was a free advert, by the way. Congratulations. So I'm going to take this dirt, put it through the classifier. I got big pieces, small pieces, and that's okay. I'm going to rinse that and wash off any fine particles. Hopefully there's gold and silver and maybe any other undisclosed rare earths. That'd be wonderful. Well, it's the only way to find out is to pan it and see what we got. I'm going to do this in steps. There's probably going to be like 2 pans worth here. Maybe 3. Alright. There we go. Let's get that in the water. Now the trick is with this river, the banks are a bit shallow, so finding a spot deep enough to actually pan in takes a little doing. So I'm going to remove some of the rocks there. As long as they're not too slippery or deep. Wow, check that out. Bloosh. Anyway, you get the point. So get this in here, get this wet to help us classify that. When you need another bucket, here we go. Got the depth we need there. Take that up, get that all loose, washed up. Get that quartz washed off. It might have gold on it, we don't know. Shake that up. There might be fine gold in there, microscopic gold, which is probably floating away as we speak. So I might have to get another process if I do figure out there's microscopic gold or ultra flower gold are being lost. But larger size flower gold, which kind of looks like almost like sand, maybe not as big as sand granules, you'll be able to pick up in the pan for sure. All right. Get that clay. There's a lot of clay in that soil we were digging in. As you can see, the water is stained with it. So I'm going to finish washing off this classified material here without shaking out the material that's silted out into the pan. Like so. I don't know if you can see what that looks like, but large pieces of quartz, mostly washed off. I'll get the close-up camera on that and put it in after this. So now I'm gonna pan this heavily silted mess. See what we got going on for heavies. Probably most of it's heavy, considering I've got it out of the mineralized portion of the bottom part of that vein in situ. Don't go too crazy. Again, I don't know the fineness of the particles I'm dealing with here, but you can definitely see that there are particles in there. Sorry for the resolution. I'll work on the camera work here as we make more videos for this channel. All right. And then this is a bit of a process. Some people appreciate the panning process. I'm going to shake that up a little bit. Just wanting to get all that excess clay out of there. As you can see, it's a nightmare. Just wants to obscure everything, as clay does. Shake, shake, shake. Settle the heavies at the bottom. And continue. Now, if you like gold panning, prospecting in general, I'd go check out Hurd Prospecting.com. I'll put his link in his channel in the description of this video. I've done that before. Everything he says is pretty accurate. I would listen to everything Dan Hurd had to say about panning and prospecting in general. He's got a lot of years at it. A lot of respect for that guy. All right, here we go. I'm getting closer. As you can see, the material is starting to clarify. I'm going to skip ahead. This is for sanity reasons. All right, we're getting closer here. Still in the first pan. Trying to refine it down to see what we got. See what we got here. And anything of note. So we'll just keep washing this, shaking this, washing this until we see what we can find in here. So far I'm seeing a lot of heavies in here. A lot of these pieces of small rock have lines of metallic mineral in them of some sort. I'm going to assume it's galena, like that one right there. I don't know if you can see that one right. See that? Check that out. Also check this out. I'm not sure if that's sulfide or a mixture of silica and some other metallic mineral. Maybe it could be a sulfide mixed with silica, but it's very suspect. It doesn't change its yellow when you shift it in the light. Very suspect. Alright, so I got my headlamp on now. It's gotten dark out here. Just want to show you that we do have black sands up here. We got some black sands up here. A lot of sulfides. Alright, so I went ahead and put on my headlamp here. There's a lot of sulfides in this pan. I can show you here. Look at the sulfides, the galenas. There is some black sand there. I'm not the greatest panner, like I said, but there's a black sand line forming. But since there's a different size material in here, makes it very difficult to pan out the real fine stuff. So I am detecting some fine black sand, so I'm assuming there's probably some microscopic gold in there as well. Let's give you a nice little zoom up here of what this material looks like. A lot of sulfides in this bunch though. Not much black sand. To be expected though. This is quartzite rock. Alright, so we got that first pan out, which wasn't exactly what I call successful, but it was revealing. That looks like a graphite of some sort. Not quite mica. No sign of gold. While going to the classifier, this is a highly mineralized piece here. It's either an electrum or some sort of an elaborate sulfide. I'm sure somebody knows what this is. I found that right against the quartz wall though, the quartz line. While going to the classifier, I found this highly mineralized piece here. That's going in the bucket for sure. More mineralized. Yep. Going into the bucket. This piece of stone looks barren, so that's just a piece of slate, so discard that. That mineralization is quite everywhere on this host rock where it meets the quartz. Very interesting. Looking at some of these structures, I could safely assume this is arsenopyrite. Almost looks like an arsenopyrite, but that's okay besides the arsenic part. Still hold gold and silver in there. It's just a lot harder to get out. It's a little more technical if you want to stay alive. Here we got what seems to be like peacocking going on. It could be chalcopyrite. Could also be gold in there. The only way to tell is to go to that fire assay. So here is pan number 2, and I'm not disappointed, and I think you can see why. So we have a black sand line there, but then we got this piece of host rock with a lot of gold color there. Not changing when I change the angle of the pan either. Look at that, guys. I don't know if we can get a better zoom on that. That's what we're looking at. So yeah, I'm in the right spot. We are on the right spot. So taking a closer look at the round 2 here at the end of the bucket, I've determined that this is not galena here, this duller metallic material. This is actually more like a graphite slate. I did scratch it. There was no garlic or strange odor, so it's not arsenopyrite, which is a good thing. That existed. It really complicates getting any precious metals out of there. Hey, mosquito. Yeah, as you can see here, these all have that little metallic mineralization to it. But, that said, now if you look closely in this graphite slate matrix, you can see that there's veins of mineralization. That could be galena. That could be electrum, which is that silver gold mix. It could be chalcopyrite. It could be a few different things. Definitely on the right spot, though. You can see all this mineralization here, despite the slate and the graphite speculation. So that's the classified recovered material that we're going to roast and crush up and assay. That's not bad. And I saved the fines from the pans to throw in there once we do that. So here I am. Night has finally fallen. You can see all the mosquitoes out here and all the debris in the night sky. I think that's from the fires in Canada, actually. My thoughts about them for sure. Hopefully that's under control by now. But I'm marching on my way back from that vein in situ to where I've parked the truck. And you can hear the river roaring, and always checking behind me, because here in the middle of nowhere, it's always, you don't know. I make a lot of noise in the woods by myself during the day or night, just to make sure there's a safety buffer between me and anything that wants to fight with me. Even though I'd surely win, of course. But that's not the point. The point is it's just to avoid that altogether. But anyway, I'm back at the truck. I want to thank you all for joining me on another adventure of Maine forges and mines. And until next time, take care.